Welcome to SFL Pregame Live along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, and we are ready to get semifinal action underway. Mike, how you doing today in rainy Houston?
Yeah, doing great, Cam. Yeah, it's a little, dreary here in Houston, but hey, I'm excited about these two semifinal matchups that we have today.
It's beautiful weather here at SFL HQ in Arkansas, and it's beautiful weather at the destination of our two semifinal playoff games today. Florida hosts Baltimore coming up next. Denver and Vancouver a little bit later. But this is a clash of the Titans. Mike St. Green as the three-time champion Storm take on the defending champion Baltimore Vultures.
Yeah, Cam, this is going to be an excellent matchup today. If we look at both of these offenses from last week, they combined for 96 points. Both quarterbacks, Cam, combined for 908 yards passing and 10 touchdowns. They each had a receiver that averaged over 36 yards per catch in last week's games. So you may think we're going to look for some fireworks today, and we probably will get them. But both of these defenses are going to have something to say about that. Both defenses are led by great secondaries. On the Baltimore side, they're led by Troy Loshaw, who I think has 12 interceptions on the season. And then you look at Florida, their secondary led by Ryan Davidson. He did a great job last week of locking down John Blades of Las Vegas. So we're going to look for both of these secondaries to try to slow these high-powered offenses down today.
It's going to be a great one. Andy Hamilton and Charles Doherty have the call when we come back from commercial break. We'll be in Fort Lauderdale for kickoff of Baltimore and Florida. The SFL semifinals are here, and this has been SFL Pregame Live. You're watching the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
After a full week and plenty of anticipation, the semifinals are set to begin here live from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, as the Florida Storm welcome the Baltimore Vultures into town for the first of two semifinal games in Season 16 of the Simulation Football League. Andy Hamilton and Charles Doherty here from the I in Fort Lauderdale. Charles, two historic franchises set to do battle here.
Well, I just want to say, Andy, I'm excited to be able to sit in the virtual booth with my idol, Andy Hamilton. This is going to be a great game. We couldn't have picked a better one. I mean, Clash of the Titans is an understatement. As you said, they both have championship pedigrees. Now, however, the one thing we got to keep in mind is this season Baltimore has not played as well on the road as they have at home, and Florida is undefeated at home. So it's going to be quite the task for Baltimore coming in here. But both of these teams play at an entirely different level in the playoffs. They take it up a notch. Both rosters are full of superstars. I can't wait to see what these veteran coaches do, what kind of tricks they have up their sleeve. This is going to be a battle going up until the last tick of the game clock. I can't wait to get this thing going, Andy.
Baltimore, the reigning and defending champions here on the road, will take on Florida, who has won 3 of their own in seasons 10, 11, and 12, and are trying to get back another time. One of them will be headed by the end of the day to the SFL championship, which will take place later on. But for now, we have the conversation between the two, Charles, and I think when you really kind of break this game down, it has a big opportunity to be a battle between a veteran in Ron Cochran and the rookie in the second-year player in Jack Wigmore, who won the championship last year in his rookie season. Wigmore will start with the ball in this Baltimore offense. Shan Varner, Mark Lopez are on stats. The ball on the tee, and we are underway from Fort Lauderdale. Return will not be brought out of the end zone. Giovanni Bolt will smartly take a knee, and Baltimore will start out at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, excited to see what Wigmore does today. As I stated at the leadoff, both quarterbacks play on an entirely different level in the playoffs. The completion percentage for Jack Wigmore went up 10% in the playoffs versus regular season, so he's deadly.
3-4 look here out of Florida to start this game off. Wigmore on a 5-step drop, fires across the middle and finds Lloyd Graham Jr. up to the 33-yard line. A first down catch.
This is going to be an exciting to watch on the line of scrimmage. We've got a solid offensive line in Baltimore going up against 3 studs in Stoneville, Tomello, and Dominguez on the line. Last week, they had 4 sacks, and they're looking to add on it tonight.
Beautiful day, 85 degrees, and cooling down as we move here into the evening. Wigmore will flip out. First touch for T. Roy Gaines, flattened at the 35.
Andy, whoever wins this game is going to be limping off the field. I mean, both of these teams are so physical. The cornerbacks are masters at bumping, and the wide receivers on the Baltimore side are physical in their own right as well. So it's going to be a battle.
Spread says Florida minus 3.5. 2nd and 8 here. Another flip out to T. Roy Gaines. He will pick up another 2. And let's run through this Baltimore offense. Jack Wigmore, the quarterback. T. Roy Gaines is the halfback. You've seen him twice now. Ivory Irvin, Daley Holder, and Mac Chiba, the 3-star studded receivers. Jay Hayden and Lloyd Graham Jr. are the tight ends, and Shark Tarkington, the kicker for this Baltimore unit. They face an important early 3rd and 6, the first 3rd down for either team. And Florida is going to show them a 3-3 look. 3 receivers wide, tight end Graham Jr. on the bottom of the line here. Wigmore stands the pocket, delivers on the arrow route, and it is complete across the middle. Daley Holder, first down yardage past midfield.
The defensive line looked like they ran a gap stunt there to maybe put a little urgency on Wigmore, but he stood in there like a veteran and just got rid of the ball so quickly that that stout defensive line of Florida didn't have a chance to touch him.
Jack Wigmore perfect on this drive, 4 for 4, and he will throw again. 5th pass is complete. A 3-yard pickup to Lloyd Graham Jr. He's in the chat today on the FTF Next Twitch channel. He's excited. He's fired up. He's been using the caps lock all day because he's so amped about these semifinals, and he has 2 catches early in this contest.
You couldn't ask for a better start so far. I mean, Baltimore offense is clicking. Haven't seen any runs yet. Let's just see if maybe they were softening up the defense to maybe surprise them up the middle.
2 tight ends on the line, offset to the right. T. Roy Gaines, first carry of the game, and he picks up 6, rips off a big run up the middle.
A way to keep the defense honest. Spread the ball around, let them think it's going to be air vultures all day, and then sneak it up the middle for a good gain.
Certainly was Air Vultures the last time this team played. We'll get to that a little bit later. But for now, they will face another 1st and 10, 3-4 look here out of the Florida Storm. Give up the middle. T-Roy gains another 6 yards. And Charles, this drive just feels really clinical, and that is a somewhat pun because one of their coaches, they call him the doctor, Thomas Paternity, is one of the SFL veterans, and he's been helping this Baltimore team down the field slowly but surely.
Yeah, so far it's been a textbook drive. I mean, there's nothing you can say against what they've been doing. I mean, every play's been a positive.
Wigmore still perfect. T-Roy gains 2 carries, 6.5 yards a carry for the veterans so far. Wigmore out route, perfect, right at the sticks to Lloyd Graham Jr. and a first down to the 19. This opening drive for Baltimore is impressive.
It looked like the defensive line of Florida, got past the blocker there, but Wigmore doesn't hold on to that ball very long and gets it off a laser. Great accuracy. Again, a perfect drive so far.
Yeah, and Charles, this is the end of the field now that Baltimore has entered the red zone, that the defense is able to clamp down. You do have that back boundary. You don't have to get worried about getting beat over the top as much. So an opportunity here for Florida to bend but not break. This is a 4-4 look out of the Storm. 2 backs in the backfield here. Wigmore, 5-step drop, fires. Another out route is complete. Ivory Irvin, first down to the 7.
Yeah, they're moving it like clockwork, Andy. I mean, the defense is clearly on their heels. As you said, they are getting closer to the goal line here on the 7-yard line, and it's going to be harder to get those out routes in. But so far, Florida doesn't have an answer.
T-Roy Gaines, the star back, only has 8 touchdowns this season via the rushing game. He does not have one in the receiving game in the regular season either. Here is Wigmore going to fire outside. Lloyd Graham Jr. will pick up 4, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, now's a perfect time, Andy, to run it up the middle. Let's see if they give the ball to T-Roy Gaines and see if he can put some cyclone moves on there into the end zone.
Gaines, one of the more balanced backs in the SFL this year, a veteran. The word is may not be a halfback at least, for the Vultures next season. The league waits with bated breath to see where T-Roy will go. 2nd and goal, Wigmore fires across the middle, tipped up, and the first incompletion for Jack Wigmore is a dangerous one. Deflection made there in the secondary. Dangerous
and a bullet dodged by the Baltimore offense. They've been clicking all the way up into that last play. Again, I don't know if they're going to do it on 3rd down here, but I think they missed a good opportunity to give T-Roy Gaines a shot.
Wigmore first in the Simulation Football League in attempts coming into this game. 8 in touchdowns with 22. 3rd and goal from the 3. Goal line look out of Florida. Wigmore will take a 5-step drop, floats back to the end zone, nearly threw a pick. Florida clamps down right at the goal line and is able to make the stand. Maverick Hughes, the rookie, with the play.
Yeah, to the point you made earlier, I mean, it's hard to get they've been running the same route all the way down the field. Well, but when you get on the 3-yard line, it's not so easy to pull it off, and it showed right there. Florida did what they needed to do. Looks like they're probably going to walk away with 3. Baltimore is, but Florida's got to be happy with where they stand right now.
Well, and in a game like this, a bend but don't break defense might just be the key for one of these teams. Shark Tarkington's kick is up and good. Baltimore with a 3-0 lead. But Charles, we talk about these offenses and how do you stop some of the weapons that these teams have. And sometimes it's really simple. You don't necessarily have to stop them. You just have to slow them down.
Yeah, I think, I think it may be a combination of that, bend, don't break. But then I think every now and then you got to throw a surprise and maybe put some pressure on the quarterback.
Indeed. Wigmore didn't have much pressure on that last drive, went a superb 8 of 10, and they drive 77 yards down the field. Now Florida gets the ball back. The Storm will bring out their offensive unit, who, speaking of clinical, Charles, is really refined.
Ron Cochran, I call him the surgeon, man. He cuts you apart and just drives down the field, death by 1,000 cuts. I know that's morbid, but that's the only thing I think of when I see him driving down the field like that. But let's see what he does here, see what kind of pressure Baltimore can put on him.
And in his career there, as you saw, he turns it up in the playoffs, and that is where we're sitting. Win or go home. Cochran dumps underneath. Charlie Boletsky, the first grab for the Storm, will scoop up 2, and we will run through this Florida Storm offense for you. Ron Cochran, the quarterback, playing in his 8th season. Charlie Boletsky there, the rookie, the first round, third round, first pick in that round. J.W. Doyle, the fullback. Stephen Bush, Jeff Como, and E.J. Minson are the receivers. Verdon Zarkov, the tight end. And you have Joseph Wade and Greg McDonaldson on the line. Ethan Sneed is the kicker. Marcus Agrippa does the punting. Flip out here to Como. Stiff arm for the first down. Oh, boy, right in front of the Baltimore bench.
Yeah, Como is a big boy at 6'6", 215. It shows you, like we said when Baltimore had the ball, the receivers on Baltimore physical. Same goes for Florida.
Oh, man.
6'6", 6'5", and 6'3". And you try and bump them, they're going to make you pay.
Early in the game, and Marvin Himes is just sent to the turf, and it moves the chains for the Storm. Bunch formation here. Cochran short drop, pressure in his face. He did get rid of it, so it won't go down as a sack, but Cyron Yates IV was right there to make the play.
That's what they need to do. It looked like they sent an extra player in there, Andy, to put some pressure on Ron Cochran. You can't let him stand in that pocket and go through his progressions, or he's going to kill you.
Yeah, right up the middle, too. That would be Joseph Wade, the rookie center, who would be guarding that area of the field, so it might be a long day for him potentially. Cochran under center, single back, 4 wide, will run a play action. He fires across the middle. Oh, leaping catch there. J.W. Doyle, the fullback.
Love it. Love it when you get the fullbacks involved. Hopefully, maybe they'll keep going with keeping Doyle engaged both on the ground and in the air.
Plenty of young players in this game. J.W. Doyle, not one of them. His 6th season in the SFL, trying to get it done here in Florida. Offset to the left is Boletsky. Cochran fires on a out route that is collected, and it's Stephen Bush with first down yardage up to the 46.
Yeah, so far, it's looking like a carbon copy of what Baltimore did on their first possession. The key is, they haven't tried to press it down deep yet. The key is if they get closer to that goal line, see if they can punch it in.
Over-under set by Jack's Data at 47.5. We are closing in on the end of the first quarter, about 4 minutes and 45 away, and it's 3-0 Baltimore. Give to Boletsky. He dances in the hole, able to pick up 2. Let's run through this Baltimore defense for you. Nate Brown, Al Walker, and Cyron Yates IV, along with Tucker Lewis, are the defensive line. Frank Smith, Alvin Mack, and Nolan Pierce are the linebackers. Marvin Himes, Ben Stack and Paper, Austin Brigham, the cornerbacks. Giovanni Bolt, Troy LaShaw are the safeties. No rookies on this defensive unit, all players with experience. 4-3 look here out of Baltimore. They'll flip it out to Boletsky. He spins. Oh, and wallop. Bolt on the outside says no first down for you, young man.
Yeah, if it's open field tackle, Bolt's going to bring you down and he's going to make you pay. You're going to be walking away with a mark on you.
Yeah, they say lightning doesn't strike twice, but Giovanni Bolt has been known to strike multiple times in a game if you're not careful. He is the return man for Baltimore, and he'll make you pay on special teams and on defense. 2 wide here. Here is Cochran going to flip it out to Boletsky again, and he will pick up the first down yardage right in front of Alvin Mack, who makes the tackle at the 33. But Charles, early in this game, both teams moving.
Definitely. It looks like maybe Baltimore's getting a little bit more pressure on, maybe sending extra guys in, unlike Florida did on the other side. But right now, I'm really impressed with not only Cochran, but the way Boletsky's playing today.
Here is the split snap. They will throw an out route there. It is collected short of the sticks, a 9-yard pickup before Marvin Himes can bring him down. This defense for Baltimore, Charles, has been pretty stout this season.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they've got it. Every there's not a weakness in any position. They're all very physical, obviously up front, but in that secondary, I mean, they'll lay the wood on you and make you pay for it. And we just saw it on that last tackle by Bolt.
They have bent all the way down here to their 24. Cochran fires on the corner route, and Baltimore makes him pay. The interception early in this is by Austin Brigham, the second-year man.
That right there was a highlight reel. Austin Brigham went up. It looked like he did a one-handed catch and brought it down. He had 2 interceptions last season. The thing about Austin Brigham is he's very deceptive in his closing speed. I mean, you're throwing it to the wide receiver and you think you got 10 yards on him, but he closes so quickly and is able to bring it in.
Yeah, rose up to collect that one. If Cochran could have put it over his head, it might have floated in there for a score. Instead, the Vultures take over here at their own 12. Here is Wigmore. Pressure coming, unloads to T-Roy Gaines. Gaines get back to the line of scrimmage before Ryan Davidson, and this defense rallies, and let's go through it. Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tomaello, and Alex Dominguez are on the defensive line. Eric Hammer and Maverick Hughes are the 2 linebackers. Ryan Davidson, Evan Carroll, and Adam Jones, the cornerbacks. Ryan Tobin and Andrew Francis are the safeties on this defensive unit. One rookie is Maverick Hughes, the linebacker, made a play on the opening drive. Wigmore stands in the pocket, pressure in his face, and down he goes. The first sack of the day goes to Florida, and they are going to flex on him. It's Alessandro Tomaello, the third-year player.
Last game he had a sack, and he's starting out great today. That's the key for Wigmore. You got to make sure he's has his eyes open wide when he goes back in that pocket looking for somebody to hit him.
3-2 look, press man coming. Wigmore in his end zone will throw it and floats it to Holder, who has yardage. Not enough for the first, but it will get them out of the shadow of their own end zone to punt this one away.
Yeah, it looked like inside linebacker Eric Hammer had a bead on the quarterback, but he cut in. I don't know what that was all about, but I thought we were going to have a safety there.
Yeah, I think it might have been the press man. Charles pushed him off of his route and forced him to come a little bit short underneath. Either way, it's going to be a punt for Baltimore. So their interception goes nowhere. This punt high, and it's going to be fair caught inside the 45, and Florida will take over at the 42. Charles, these two teams know each other very well. They've been in the league a long time, and both of them very historic franchises. Florida in front 3-2 in the series, though.
Definitely. And when they play, that's always a close game. I mean, there's rarely a win by more than a touchdown.
And in season 12, the Storm beat these Baltimore Vultures 31-17 on their way to a championship, trying to do the same this season. An X spot route is incomplete on the outside. That route usually money for Stephen Bush, but Baltimore playing really good defense.
I think this is a good time to throw in the hurry up.
They are going to hurry it up. They will throw again. Cochran floats deep, and that is caught on the seam route. Right down the middle of the field is Jeff Como.
Yeah, I don't think they want to keep pressing it. They're well within field goal range. Got to walk away with 3 here at least, Andy.
Cochran saunters up to the line at the 24. Will stand. Now the X spot is wide open, and Bush has 5. Hurry up again. It's E.J. Minson in the slot. Como on the top of the screen. Bush on the bottom. Here's Cochran. Fires to Bush underneath. 3rd and 2. Running a lot of options here. Routes underneath and routes over the top. And letting Ron Cochran pick apart this defense. They go to Beletsky on a quick handoff, and he will not get first down yardage. Stuffed underneath. Baltimore looked like they were in trouble, but Tucker Lewis makes the play to end the drive.
Yeah, that was, it says fourth and 1, but it looks like maybe 4th and a quarter of an inch. That was close.
That close play will end the first quarter. 3-0 Baltimore on top. A quick moving first is done. We will step aside and be right back for the SFL semifinals. Welcome you back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Andy Hamilton along with Charles Doherty on analysis. Florida Storm, after a punt, have driven a little bit down the field. They will have to settle for a field goal as their hurry-up offense stalled out. Ethan Sneed is the kicker. Number 1 is on to try and match the Shark Tarkington kick from earlier. Snapback, hold down, kick up, and good from 31 yards. The Florida Storm knot this thing up at 3.
I think Florida, needed to walk away with at least 3 on the board here, and this is really becoming a slugfest. I mean, early in the game, both defenses are starting to hold, like you said. They're bending, but they're not breaking. As they're getting closer to the goal line, they're really flexing their muscles.
Yeah, and it seemed, Charles, like the teams were a little nervous about making a mistake too early, but Florida, after that pick, might be getting a little bit more into their own rhythm. Baltimore now, with the return, brings Giovanni Bolt out of the end zone, spins twice, and is up to the 26. Like we were talking about before, Charles, these two teams, veterans in the Simulation Football League. They have been here quite a long time. You could argue it's two of the more storied franchises.
Oh, definitely, and that's what makes this such a great matchup. I mean, the coaching involved here. I mean, I as a coach myself, this is a learning opportunity for me.
Yeah, 71% win percentage for these two teams is ridiculous in this league. So if you're just tuning in and wondering what you're watching two of the best we have to offer. And if you're new to the SFL as a whole, the Simulation Football League combines traditional esports, sports, and a role-playing game all into one. Our team strategies are executed right here in real time by the simulations as real-life players are competing on this virtual gridiron. For more information about our league, you can visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL put the fan in fantasy, and we put the sack in sack lunch as Alex Dominguez runs right up the middle and flattens Jack Wigmore at the 23.
All-time sack leader, just keeps on dropping the hits, and had 2 sacks last game. You gotta put a man on him. It looked like he was untouched going through the middle.
1 man on him might not be enough, Charles. I think you need 2 or 3. Wigmore on 3rd and long is going to float one deep down the field and pays the price. Picked off by Florida. The Storm have a turnover, and we'll have to check who it was, but I think it was Ryan Tobin who took it away.
Yeah, it looks like it was Ryan Tobin. I mean, he's the type of free safety that as the wide receiver gets close by, man, he makes him nervous. He makes him hear footsteps. He got that extra elevation up there and pulled it in, and I think Cochran was thinking he was going to get a long gain on that one.
40th career interception for Ryan Tobin. Basically an arm punt there, so not much to worry about for the Baltimore Vultures. But for Ryan Tobin, he will take it. Hand off to Doyle up the middle. Flag on the play as Doyle rips off 5 or 6.
I'd love to see the fullback getting involved in the running game.
Going to call that offsides on Baltimore, and I think Florida might. Oh, they will accept that. I thought Doyle might have got 6 yards there.
Yeah, it looked like he did, but I guess 1st and 5 might be better than 2nd and 4. I don't know.
Hey, that's why they're on the field, and we are up here in the booth, Charles.
It's math, Andy. Don't get me doing math, please.
Hey, I can hear you there. Math is not my strong suit. So Ron Cochran, 77 yards and the 1 interception today. But other than that, playing a pretty good game, 10 of 13. Stands in the pocket, delivers, and outside of the arm's reach of Bush there.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. I mean, one of the things that's impressive, when you got that formation, I think, and probably better than I do, is the key is having wide receivers that can break out of that route quickly, because being bunched up like that, it takes a while for the play to develop. But in that particular case, that was a gimme for Bush. I was shocked he dropped it.
Yeah, I think Cochran might have put that just out a little in front of him, a little bit more for comfort's sake, and was trying to lead him away from the defensive back, but fortunately didn't work out. Here's the give to Beletsky, and he's flattened Giovanni Bolt today. 2 big hits already.
Oh, I'm glad he got up. I thought he was maybe going to stay down there a little longer. But again, man, it's dangerous running in open field against Giovanni Bolt. He hits you with the helmet and makes you pay.
9 minutes to go here in the second. 3 wide for Ron Cochran, who's under center. 3-3 look here out of Baltimore. X spot, no good. Deflected there on the outside by Marvin Himes.
How do they do that? It's like they're not even looking at the quarterback, but with instinct, they just kind of put their hand up and flip it down.
Well, he ran it underneath the route, right? So he over pursues here, but smartly gets back towards the football, which puts him in position, right? If he would have ran more inside as opposed to more up towards the line of scrimmage, he wouldn't have been able to get back for that. So actually a very lucky play by Himes to be able to get his arm up.
I mean, you can't see up. It's hard to see out the side of your helmet.
Yeah,
and,
true.
Barely turning your head like that and flipping the ball down. It's almost like he has some precognitive powers.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that some of these players here on this field, the veterans, have a sixth sense. And for Baltimore, a lot of veterans on this defense. This punt by Snead will die right at the 3. Beautiful punt. Not Snead, excuse me. Marcus Agrippa, the star punter. We were going to talk about him a lot, Charles, because Florida, one of the only teams in the league who pays a star punter, and that right there is why you do it.
Oh, definitely. I love watching him punt the ball. I mean, he could wind up turning the tide on this game, but with his accuracy, pinning them deep.
Offsides here, though, will evaporate some of that yardage. Flip out to Gaines with a little bit of room, and T-Roy Gaines has more yardage than that flag is even worth. And just as we talked about how important it was pinning them deep, it turns out to be a non-factor.
Yeah, and as we watched the ref morph into the field goal post, it was a great swing pass out to the running back. It just shows you when you get the ball to Gaines on the outside there, he's got that extra gear he hits. I mean, he's only one of 2 balanced running backs in the league, but he plays as almost like he's a finesse player.
T-Roy Gaines over 1,500 carries, 14th all-time in the SFL, adds 631, now a little over that in receptions, has over 10,000 all-purpose yards. They'll flip it out to him again, and Gaines clobbered from behind. Wow, and then Andrew Francis flexes on him.
Yeah, that was a big hit as well. I think, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've only run the ball 1 time.
Correct. A lot of flip out, or no, they've ran it 3 times, but a lot of flip outs out to T-Roy Gaines as well. Has 8 all-purpose touches to this point, and he's running it better than he's catching it. They'll flip it out to the fullback here, and Cochran was almost flat and barely able to get that one out, and it would have been better, Wigmore flipped it out, and it would have been better if Mitchell just let it fall to the ground.
Yeah, T-Roy thought he had some open field there, but Evan Carroll closed it down quickly. Again, these the secondary of Florida, they are fast. You get the ball, you got to be decisive, and you got to go, or you're going to pay for it.
Bump here against a bunch formation. Positive there for Baltimore. Here's Wigmore on a 7-step drop. Stands in the pocket, delivers. Caught! Ivory Irvin, first down yardage out to the 34. And Charles, that bump man looked dangerous against the bunch because what it does is it has some of those receivers off the line.
Well, it does, but the thing about the wide receivers for Baltimore is 2 of the 3 are bump masters. So if you try bumping them, they're going to make you pay. And you got to be impressed with the pass of Jack Wigmore.
Yeah,
there.
Oh, yeah.
Right on the money.
I was just going to say, this quarterback matchup feels a little bit like a Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady matchup, right? You have Cochran with all the championships, the veteran. Everyone knows his name, household name in the SFL. Then you got Wigmore, the newcomer who jumped on the scene last season, came out, won the championship for Baltimore, trying to get him right back on the doorstep.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. I mean, this is turning out to be quite the game, and Jack Wigmore is playing like a 10-year vet.
Yeah, 102 yards so far, 82% completion percentage. Just the 1 pick, which was really more like a punt, can erase that with a touchdown on the board at some point. And Baltimore trying to drive down the field on this stingy number 2 seed in the league, only lost twice all year. Give Gaines. Gaines finds a little room, bounces through. What a run from T-Roy Gaines.
Nice run by T-Roy. I love it when they get the halfback involved. They ran to the pair side where the 2 tight ends and the great blocking up front, setting up the running back for a great game.
Oh, man, it just continues to – I mean, that looks like the T-Roy of old there, Charles. The past couple years, I don't mean to dog him, but he has not looked like himself. In this game, he's looking like himself again.
Yeah, definitely. He's on fire so far.
Split back wing formation here. Here is Wigmore, stands in the pocket, going to float late. Caught outside Ivory Irvin on a corner route out to the 36. It was a little delayed, looked a little lethargic, but Irvin got open.
Yeah, the defensive line coach for Florida's got to be throwing down the clipboard, kicking people, throwing the dog out the window, whatever, because the amount of time that quarterback had was just incredible.
Yeah, lots of protection there. I don't know if Max Paul's doing all that on the sidelines, but I'm sure he'll be disappointed that catch was made. Now 2 tight ends on the field for Wigmore. Gains offset to the left. Wigmore stands in the pocket, pressure coming, just barely got rid of it. Alex Dominguez was there in his face, and when you got that guy staring down on you, you got to get rid of it.
Yeah, definitely. To your point earlier, you got to put at least two men on there. Keep a fullback in there, protect your quarterback, because it's going to be a very long day for Wigmore if you're only going to try and single block Alex.
And the rushing game, the weakness of this Florida defense, and that's part of the reason that T. Roy Gaines is averaging 5.4 yards per carry to this point. 2nd and 10, they'll feed him. T. Roy Gaines not going anywhere, though. Eric Hammer was in the hole to meet him and brings him down right there at the 37.
It's smart play by Eric Hammer. Showed his discipline, stayed in the seam there in the gap, maintained his position, and was just able to shut it down. It's tempting on a play like that for the linebacker to bounce out, but just shows his discipline.
Storm running a 3-2 now. They've ran the 4-4 today. Gun straight look here for Baltimore, an SFL favorite. They are going to run a post corner, and Wigmore has to get rid of it as no one was open. Beautiful defense by Florida, and it puts Baltimore in 4th and long.
The front line of Florida put just enough pressure on the quarterback to make him get rid of the ball, but you got to give props to the secondary of Florida. They covered great, not giving anything to Wigmore.
Shark Tarkington on. I believe, Charles, this would be a 53-yard attempt. It would be a long one for Tarkington. He is a 97% kicker in the SFL, hasn't missed this year, and this one is good from 53 yards. With 5 minutes in the second, he nails it to give the Vultures the lead.
That's his second career field goal of 53. His longest is 56. He's got a track record of being able to hit the field goal over 50 yards. He's dangerous.
Yeah, if you hear that, Charles, those are the air miles points going into Shark Tarkington's account, because that kick just racked up a ton of them, going 53 yards down the field. And with 5 minutes to go, Baltimore has put themselves back out in front 6-3. The battle of the kickers is on here from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, definitely. And both kickers, Ethan Sneed he's no slouch either. So it's dangerous.
Neither kicker has missed this season. Both of them 100%.
And both of them have a history of booting it past the 50 yards.
A lot of star kickers in this league, something that 5-6 seasons ago wasn't a commonality. Florida and Mexico City are two of the teams that kind of gave the kickers their start. Here is Ron Cochran. We'll flip it out to J.W. Doyle. They run that play so well, Charles. They put both the fullback and the halfback out into the flats and figure that one of them will break open.
Yeah, the both Beletsky and Doyle they run really, really solid routes for running back and back. Normally, you see a halfback or a fullback drift off on the route, but man, they run it crisp.
Cochran, 68% completion percentage. The one pick earlier in the game, but 11 of 16 so far today. Give to Beletsky, and he is wrestled down. He'll get a yard.
I haven't seen a lot of success from Florida on those power formations yet, but I think they're going to keep going to the well there and seeing if they can crack one open.
Yeah, this Baltimore defense, 5th best against the run in the Simulation Football League over the regular season, only giving up 5 rushing touchdowns all year. They're also 2nd in takeaways, though. Cochran floats backside. That is caught! Oh, a laser beam down the sideline to Stephen Bush.
Wow. I think the cornerback there, Benjamin Paul, he did not expect that ball to go over his head like that. Perfect throw. Into the hand. It was 39. That was Austin Brigham. Perfect throw by Ron Cochran into the hands of Stephen Bush.
I also don't think the referee expected to be collected into that garbage. And when he did, it kind of got in the way of the defender trying to make the play. Florida will take it. They get a new set of downs here at the Baltimore 49 on the other side of midfield here. Clock continuing to roll. They give to Beletsky, and Charlie will pick up 3, a long 3.
And so far, both of these quarterbacks are, doing what we expect. They're 70+% percentage in completions, and both of them have been pressured a little bit. But I think in order to win the game, you're going to need to put the opposing quarterback down a little bit more than what we've seen.
Yeah, Baltimore susceptible in the pass game, giving up 369 yards via the air on average per game. That's 20th in the SFL, but a run there goes nowhere. It'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting 3rd down for Florida. I mean, they've been killing on the out routes. See if they go back to the well on that, or maybe they'll try something deep. We haven't seen much deep, especially deep middle from Florida.
Nickel look here out of Baltimore. Cochran under center with Beletsky in the backfield. Play action. Cochran stands and floats. That one is collected. Oh, wow, that was tight. And he's able to fit it in the window to Jeff Como.
How did Como catch that? I thought that was either going to be a deflection or an interception.
He picked his pocket for sure. I'll take that. Yeah, Alvin Mack. Look, he ran into the defender. Oh, man. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that, Charles. That's the type of play where you go back to the huddle and you go, I don't know. I was right in position.
Give me another shot.
Yeah. Let's run it again. So Florida moves the ball down to the 33. Twins here to the bottom of the screen. They will give to Beletsky up the middle and a 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, we're looking at least the tied ball game here with 2 minutes left.
Well, don't count your eggs before they hatch, Charles. Sometimes the Baltimore defense has been known to take the ball away. 37 takeaways, 2nd in the league. But before that, we hit the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go here in Fort Lauderdale. And we will be right back. You are watching the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. Back here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Andy Hamilton along with Charles Doherty. 2 minutes to go here in the first half of the first semifinal game. 4 wide here for Cochran. Play action out route there is caught on the sidelines. It's real tight. Charles, what did you see?
I thought I saw a first down, and I also saw a brilliant pass by Cochran and a great route run by Stephen Bush. I mean, they're putting on the wide receivers of Florida are putting on a clinic in route running.
Baltimore will not challenge it. I would have thought about it. It's 3rd and inches. 2 in the backfield is Doyle along with Boletsky. They will give J.W. Doyle right up the middle, and he gets walloped at the 16, but not before moving the chains.
Fullback power, Andy. Love it. Love using that fullback. I mean, they sneak them in there right at the right time when you're not expecting it. You get a mouthful of Doyle right in your face.
Pause. 1st and 10 here, bunch formation, nickel look here out of Baltimore. 1.5 to go in the second, and Florida knocking on the door. Here is the flip out to E.J. Minson, maybe one of his first catches of the day. It's one of the first time he's called his name, and he scoops up 9.
Another example of great route running. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, perfect route running by the wide receivers there. And, you're going to have to do something, disrupt them at the line, do something to throw them off because they're having their way all day.
4-3 look here out of Baltimore. They give. Boletsky falls forward for first down yardage. They will hurry back to the line. Cochran, pressure coming off that far side, gets it to Minson, out of bounds at the 2.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think they've got plenty of time. They can't forget their backfield.
Yeah, this would be the time that Doyle and Boletsky, they call him the bullet, although you don't need a super fast bullet to get 2 yards. You need more of a hard-hitting bullet, so we'll see. 2nd and goal here. Twins bottom of the screen. Goal line look here out of Baltimore. The bullet. Wide. Oh, he didn't get there. What closing speed by the defense. Just as easy as we saw it. Baltimore did too. They're able to get the linebacker out there, Nolan Pierce. Wow.
What closing speed. I mean, holy mackerel. I was ready to put both my arms up in the air, and he just shut that down.
That looked like me trying to run out to the ice cream truck when I hear the music from far away. That was speed. 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. This is the play that could define the game. Cochran floats back of the end zone. Wide open touchdown for the Storm. Stephen Bush strikes, and Florida is going to get the penalty for the unnecessary roughness at the end of it. It doesn't matter. A touchdown for Bush.
Yeah, Baltimore getting a little rough in the end zone there, but doesn't matter. Great hands by Stephen Bush in the end zone. Again, another perfectly run route. No pressure on the quarterback, and if you give the surgeon that much time, he's gonna make you pay for it.
Ron Cochran, they call him Riverboat Ron, wheeling and dealing, is able to find the end zone. And Charles, that just might be the difference, because with 41 seconds, it gives Baltimore very little time to try and get down the field themselves, and gives them a 4-point lead instead of just tying it at 6.
Yeah, but they've got a man named Bolt returning the ball. He can turn a game upside down with just one return.
We got Bolt and Bullet and a lot of speed in this game, Charles.
Yep.
Lots
and
of
Ricochet and
Nolan Pierce. Forget the rest of them. Nolan Pierce looked like the fastest one on that play, but Florida gets the best of this defense on 3rd goal.
We've seen teams score in less than 35 seconds, so plenty of time for Baltimore.
We'll see if it'll be Baltimore as they kick it off, and Giovanni will take this from the goal line. He will bring it out, spins once, jukes a little bit. Almost broke it out the 28. Coming up on the SFL Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green will break down this first half between the Vultures and the Storm, have a sit-down with 3-time champion owner of Florida, Max Paul, and go over the keys to victory for a second half. It's all coming up on the SFL Halftime Report. You don't want to miss it, and you don't got to go anywhere. You can sit right here after the break. 2 in the backfield, 3-4 look out of Florida. They will feed T-Roy Gaines off the left side with room. T-Roy Gaines through one. Gaines still on his feet out to the 38.
Let's see if there's some passing plays out of this formation.
I would almost just run it again. That one looked really nice. They'll give it to him again. Gains first down yardage, and they do have all 3 timeouts. They are electing, though, not to use them.
And that's kind of a head scratcher, Andy.
Yeah, I would have used one after that first down. They'll feed Gaines again. T-Roy Gaines, though, now out to the 49. Charles, it looked like 3 times there. He was 1 tackle away from the end zone.
That's right. He was gonna make me look foolish. That happens all the time.
Yeah, as a coach, that is the type of play that makes you sweat a little bit. And Tim Johnston, a veteran coach there, is going to explain to Jack Wigmore, hey, we got 3 timeouts, buddy. You could have used one a little bit earlier if you wanted to.
Yeah, definitely. Set up, put a new play in there.
So 6-10, Baltimore down by 4 with 1 play before the halftime break. They are going to try and flip up a Hail Mary, and this is the time you got to be careful if you are the offensive line for Baltimore. Some dogs there on the defensive line are going to be coming after Wigmore. Here is Wigmore, and down he goes. There it is. Alex Dominguez in there for his 2nd of the day.
It just takes so much time for that play to develop, and when you've got the likes of Alex Dominguez on the line there, you're looking at a very bad situation.
Halftime break. The Florida Storm at home on top, 10-6. Our halftime report is coming up after this short break. You're watching the Simulation Football League semifinal on Next Level Sports.
Welcome back to the SFL on Next Level Sports. This is the SFL Halftime Report with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. Florida leads Baltimore 10-6 at the half. Interesting first half, Mike. Saw a lot of differences from last week from both of these teams.
Yeah, Cam, we don't see the offensive explosion that we saw last week, but man, as you said, this has been a very well played first half from both teams. The defenses have stepped up and made big plays on both sides of the ball, and now we have a 10-6 game at halftime.
Baltimore's looked really different. No targets for Mac Chima, a big fat 0. He had 4 touchdowns and over 200 yards last week, but T-Roy Gaines, the running back, having one of, if not his best halves of the season. They are still trailing by 4, but it's given them a chance. What do you think about all that strategy we've seen from that offense in the first half?
I like what Baltimore's doing with T-Roy, Cam, especially since they got him going a little bit. He had a solid first half, and one of my notes from this from this first half is that in that first drive, T-Roy looked really well. Baltimore got down inside the 5-yard line, but we didn't see any rushes from T-Roy once they got down there, and then maybe that would have made a difference between a 3-point field goal and a 6-7 point touchdown.
66 points for Baltimore last week, 6 for them this week in the first half, and Florida leads by 4. Earlier this week, Mike and I caught up with the 3-time championship winner, Max Paul, the owner of the Florida Storm, and had a chance to talk about all sorts of topics, including how to stop Baltimore. Let's see what he had to say here on the Halftime Report. With us today on the SFL Halftime Report, it's the 3-time champion, the owner of the Florida Storm, Max Paul. Max, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Cam. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on as well. MSG, I love that name. MSG. Rolls off the tongue.
Hey, how's it going, Max? Good to have you here, man. I'll start it off by asking, by saying first, man, this is the furthest that Florida/Alaska has gone since season 12. In the semifinals for the first time since that season. What would it feel like? You're a 3-time champion. What would it feel like to finish this thing off and get to the championship game and bring home that 4th title?
Oh, it felt great. You know what I'm saying? To kind of not legitimize, because I think at this point people know when people hear that name Storm, they know it's, you associate that with a team that always comes forth and gives their best effort, best foot forward, well coached, well executed, kind of, I won't say excellence per se, but more like, it's a franchise that other franchises would, kind of want to either emulate or pattern themselves after because of the success we have.
Mighty, or as most people call you, Mighty, you are always on the chase. Everyone is, right? That's what makes sports great. You're on the chase for 100 wins, and you're also on the chase for 4 titles, because 4 is very important in the SFL, because that's how many Eric Barkley has, even though they were all in the first 8 seasons of the SFL and not, kind of in the progression era, as we call it, season 10 and on. Does that help fuel you, the chase for that? I'm sure you're tired of hearing about they have more than you.
No, I'm actually not. Now, like, even whenever I address, Eric Barkley, I address him as Lord of the Rings, because he's, he's the one that everyone's chasing right now. It ain't just us. Baltimore chasing them, Denver's chasing them, Vancouver's, everyone's chasing the Queen City Corsairs as that preeminent franchise in the league. Yeah, they've been around longer than us, but they've been doing it better than everybody else till this day. You know what I'm saying? So, and also the competition to me isn't like, which franchise got the most trophies to kind of be able to rub it in anyone's face, or to kind of use it as, something to lord over anyone else. It's competition. Like, we're in this to win. You know what I'm saying? You're not in it to just show up and have a good time. To all you young folk out there, don't take this the wrong way. When, your parents say, just go out there and have a good time, honey, and we'll just love you to say, yeah, they might, but if you win, they love you a little more. They love you a little more. So we're in this because we love to compete. We love football, first and foremost. We love to compete, but we love winning. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody trying to get in here and lose. Like, no one's trying to get in here, have one of those 11 booty games, fourth quarter, tight, and then you lose by a field goal at the end. Your week is ruined. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to get in here and get these dubs. So that's the name of the game. To try to finish every season as the last team standing and the last team winning as well. So
yeah,
that's the mindset.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Mighty, you want to be the last team standing. As right now, you guys are, one of the last 4 standing. But looking over the rosters and the statistics and the leaderboards, it's hard to find any Florida Storm players at the top of any leaderboard on the first page. You have Ryan Cochran at the top of the quarterback list for his QBR and completion percentage. But how are you guys doing it? I mean, how, is nobody at the top of the leaderboards, INTs or sacks or tackles or things like that. But man, you guys are getting it done. You're getting the W's. How is Florida able to pull these wins off week in and week out like that?
We pride ourselves in being amorphous. When we first were awarded a franchise, that was the thing so that way there was no game plan. that we're not able to implement depending on the opponent. So if we're running into a team that has a great pass defense, guess what we ain't doing that week? We ain't going to be throwing the ball much. So we're going to pound the rock a little bit. So that means your running back is going to eat. He's going to have the shine that week. And the next week, if we run into a team that struggles stopping the pass a little bit, guess what? Ron going to drop back and throw that bad boy 70 times a game. So, so it's all about, balance, yes, but at the same time catering to whatever opponent is upcoming to try to take advantage of mismatches or areas where you believe they're deficient where you're strong. So it's kind of difficult having to navigate a season that way to then, overly rely on one side or the other because of, no opponent is the same. So we faced a slate of opponents that I had either great run games or great pass games or great pass defenses or great run defenses. And I'm sorry to say, but you'd be a fool to run out on someone's strength repeatedly. Like, why would you cause yourself such mental anguish? I'm not that type. I like to sleep well at night, peacefully. I don't need more mental anguish than it is already. So that's why it's offensively, at least that's how that's why you won't find most of our skilled guys on leaderboards. Ron, on the other hand, as our commander in chief, as the field general, you'll see him up there efficiency wise, completion percent wise. Ron loves to spread the ball to everybody and anybody. If you're wearing that electric blue that's behind me right now, he will find you on the field no matter who your name is. And that's what Ron is. He's not a respecter of person that way. So one game might be Stephen Bush going off for 200. Another game might be checking it down to Bullet and Doyle to the tune of 75 apiece. So he doesn't favor anyone, meaning defenses have to cover everyone, making our job simpler, their job tougher. And defensively, though it's a unit. It's all works hand in hand. If the D-line gets pressure, but the quarterback throws it before, they get there, he's throwing it earlier than he wants to, the DBs are making plays. If they do get there, they get the sack. So it works hand in hand. So DBs ain't going to go ham with the picks because the D-line kind of eating, depending on the game. So conversely, same thing. But again, top 5 defense, 9 seasons straight. So apparently the boys on defense know what they're doing. I just happen to be the guy that schemes everything. That's all.
Last question for you, Mighty. Baltimore is a formidable opponent. Both of you are 71% win percentage all time. That is best among active teams. And they know how to turn it on in the playoffs. This is a two-parter for you, though. Number one, how can a team score 66 points in a playoff game when their run game is not really working? And number two, what have you seen out of Baltimore this week in scouting, that makes them a challenging matchup and makes that passing game so good?
Okay, I'll answer that. I will answer your question by not really answering your question directly.
Excellent.
The thing that I noticed about Baltimore, I actually got a sim going on right now. I had to turn the TV off so I wouldn't be distracted while talking to you two kind folks. Is their D-line is ridiculously underrated. There's not one guy that stands out as, being dominant or someone that you have to focus your attention on. But as a group, they have been the biggest headache for me this week, game planning wise, trying to find a way to mitigate the damage or the pressure that they can apply on Ron for Ron to have the time and the calm and for him to remain calm and cool and collected to get the ball to all the playmakers that we have out there. That's one. So that's not the question you posed. You asked me about the pass offense. It's all about keep staying on your keys and understanding schematically what they're looking to attack. So last week there were some busted coverages here and there and some having a little too much confidence in certain players that you have. When it works, it's great. When it don't work, you get 66 on you. So we saw what Lone Star did last week, both offensively, defensively, because let's not forget they dropped 40 on Baltimore's defense as well. So there ain't nothing to laugh at. But we saw where Lone Star erred, and we're trying to we're hopefully we buttoned up those areas so that way we're not getting hit upside the head for 500 500 yards, 7 touchdowns, some video game with numbers like that. So you know what I'm saying. So we buttoned that area up, and conversely, we saw certain things that Lone Star took advantage of on offense themselves, and we're looking to see what we can implement in our own offense that our offense is able to execute. So hopefully, I answered your question well enough for you.
Absolutely. We can't wait. It's going to be an epic matchup. And good luck to you, Mighty, in chasing that fourth championship. And Max Paul, one of the best owners the SFL has ever had, with all of his awesome gear behind him. Championship patches on there as well, I believe. Best of luck to you this week.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. If no one says it, I will. We appreciate what y'all have provided for us with the pre and the halftime and the post game. That content has been great. Keep it going.
Thanks, Max. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Marty.
Oh, Mike, I'm dying to know how long his vows were. An incredibly detailed individual. That may have been quite the long ceremony. Maybe he'll let us know in the twitch.tv/FTF next chat. But Mighty, always a good guy to talk to, and his team's up 4 right now.
Yeah, his team's up 4, and as he mentioned, Baltimore's D-line, and they are doing a great job today, but his D-line is doing a great job as well. T-Roy, like as we mentioned earlier, is doing great in the running game, but Alex Dominguez and company and Tomaello are doing a great job of putting pressure on Wigmore in the passing game. So that defensive line is doing a great job, and maybe that's why we're seeing them controlling Baltimore in that passing game so far.
Now, in the second half, Mike, do you think Baltimore needs to maybe open it up a little bit more, or do they need to continue to rely on T-Roy? Combination, what do you see as a key for them in the second half?
I tell you what, Cam, it's really a difficult question as to which way they should go. As mentioned, Baltimore had a huge game last week, and including in there was Mac Chima. Over 200 yards, 4 touchdown catches, and we haven't mentioned his name yet. So maybe they could open it up and see if they can, target him a little bit. But T-Roy had a solid first half, so maybe go to him, keep that balance, keep moving the ball, not make any mistakes, and maybe try to win a tight one in the end.
That D-line for Baltimore that Mighty mentioned has to step up too. Florida's D-line, they are winning that checkbox in the first half. Dominguez has a couple. Tomaello has one as well. We'll see what happens coming up here in the second half. Florida 10, Baltimore 6. This has been the SFL Halftime Report, and you're watching the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports.
We welcome you back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for the semifinals. First of 2 games today. Florida Storm on top 10-6. Charles, they did the double up. They got a touchdown before the halftime break. They will get this ball back to start the third. They are wearing blue, Baltimore wearing white with the red helmets. And the Storm elect to bring it out of the end zone, out to the 21. But Charles, we were just talking about it. These 2 quarterbacks look very similar.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the only difference between the 2 of them is that Ron Cochran has a touchdown and Jack Wigmore has yet to put it in the end zone. Another key point here is Baltimore defense. No sacks on Cochran, whereas the Florida defense, they have 4 on Wigmore.
And that is credit to the 2 offensive linemen there for Florida. Here is Cochran on first down out of the break. Will find a wide open receiver for first down yardage. Breaking tackles and picking up the yardage is Sylvester Truitt.
Yes, so Sylvester Truitt. I mean, that's a wide receiver 4 coming off the bench, and that just shows you if you're a playoff team that's going to go deep, when you bring out the players on the bench and they execute, you know you got a good thing going.
Gun split spread look here against nickel out of the Baltimore Vultures. 3 receivers wide. Here's Cochran, stands and is going to float one deep down the middle of the field. Caught E.J. Minson down to the 36. And Charles, we talked about it at the break. The second half can go one of 2 ways. These teams are either going to open it up or play much of the same. Florida opens it up for big yardage.
Yeah, they do. And you look at that play. I mean, every position, they executed perfectly, starting from the offensive line. Plenty of time for Cochran. Again, I sound like a broken record on the route running by the wide receiver crew. But I think Baltimore needs to turn it up a notch and start putting some pressure and start breaking down some of this play execution on Florida.
Minson, the third-year man, with his 4th grab. They will flip it out now. That is Veridin Zarkov. His first catch of the game is down to the 13. Florida putting the press on early.
Yeah, we were also talking at the break that Zarkov hadn't been targeted all game, but he really made it count here in the second half. Wide open, yet again another great route run, and he made him pay.
Crisp, and the tight end is able to move the chains on the out route, working there against a cornerback. And really, Charles, the cornerback can defend the pass, but once the ball's in Zarkov's hands, asking him to make that tackle is tough. And they had to have Nolan Pierce, the linebacker, use his speed to get over and clean it up. Now a bunch formation on 1st and 10 in the Baltimore red zone at the 13. Cochran floats across the middle, caught. That is going to be good for E.J. Minson, 5th grab of the game.
Yeah, the word of the game here for Baltimore, or key for them to win, is they need to disrupt. So far, they haven't done any of that on this drive, and Florida's basically having their way, moving down the field at will.
2 receivers top of the screen. They will give Beletsky up the gut, will not get there.
I think that's the best thing to happen for Baltimore. Now they can kind of settle in and see if they can stop them and possibly force it to a field goal.
Yeah, has struggled to find the end zone, but over 1,000 all-purpose yards for Beletsky this season. 3rd and inches. You have to imagine he could pick up a foot here if he needed to. Plenty of room to the top of the screen if they want to flip it out to him, though. They'll give it right up the gut. Has the first down yardage. 1st and goal at the 2.
Yeah, he did what he needed to do. I mean, he got lit up there by the Baltimore defender, but they walk away with the 1st and goal on the 2, so they're sitting pretty so far.
Well, they're not walking very far, Charles. They're walking right back to the line here. Goal line look out of Baltimore. Wide open slot receiver there. You could throw him almost a go route and have the touchdown. Instead, they'll give it Beletsky up the middle. Dances. Oh, how did he not get in the end zone there?
The ball. I didn't see his knee go down. I thought the ball crossed the plane. Maybe we'll get a challenge here. Let's see, Andy.
Al Walker brought him down from behind. They don't look like they're prepared to challenge on 2nd and goal. Going to hold those timeouts in an important second half. I respect the decision. You have to think here you could punch it in from a yard on one of these plays. Doyle is sitting there in front of Beletsky this time. Maybe an off tackle to that right-hand side. Cochran adjusts at the line. They give J.W. Doyle. Even the fullback can't get there.
Wow. I mean, that's some great tackling there. Frank Smith, in particular, on that play, just shut it down. Very disciplined. I mean, it's almost like it's a different defense when Baltimore gets in their own red zone. They're playing at a whole different level.
Goal line look again, 2 receivers wide. This time Baltimore has walked someone over there. Valetsky up the middle, and he walks in. Touchdown, Florida. They cap off a long drive with 6 points.
Yeah, on that particular play, we mentioned the linebacker play. Frank Smith was just a millisecond away from hitting Valetsky in the backfield. I know he's hitting himself on that one, but great drive by Florida, and now right now it looks like they're in cruise control.
The bullet turned into a battering ram, and a 9-play, 79-yard drive is capped off from 1 yard out to give Florida, if Ethan Snead can add this extra point, a 11-point lead here in the semifinals on the doorstep of the championship. Kick up and good, now 17-6.
What a drive, Andy. I mean, that was a near perfect drive. Last 2 times they had the ball, 14 plays, 82 yards, and a 1 yard pass touchdown. This last series, 9 plays, 79 yards, 1 yard rush touchdown. I mean, Florida has found something, and they're capitalizing on it. And Baltimore needs to find some way to disrupt the way Florida's executing.
Correct. Giovanni Bolt will take a knee. If you're wondering what these 2 teams are playing for, on Sunday, May 9th, spend a little of your Mother's Day with us watching great football and honoring the great women in our lives as the 16th SFL championship game kicks off at 2:30 Eastern. You can watch on Next Level Sports for the fans or the FTF Twitch channel, and you won't want to miss the show-stopping end to this 16th season of SFL football. For more information on broadcast pairings and how you can give your mom a shout-out right here on national TV, visit simulationfl.net. Flip across the middle to Ivory Irvin, good for 8.
Yep, nice play on first down, 2nd and 2. The point you made earlier about T. Roy Gaines. Let's see how much involvement he has here in the second half with them being down by 11. I maintain that you need to have him involved in some capacity, at least maybe from a swing pass standpoint. You can't forget the skills that T. Roy brings.
I would agree with you there. Gaines averaging 5 yards on the ground, and before that pass, 23 plays and 161 yards of offense for Florida since Jack Wigmore last threw the ball before that 8-yard completion there. Gaines cleans up the rest of the yardage and has a first down to the 33.
Yeah, there you go. Build a little bit of momentum that they desperately need at this point, being down by 11, but plenty of time for them to execute.
Yeah, 11 is nothing to worry about, right? You just need, in theory, 1 defensive stop as long as you can go down the field and continue to score. Flip spread look, for Wigmore. He stands and delivers on the out route there. That is caught for 5, and they'll plow over someone on the Florida bench.
That's just nasty. I mean, take an extra hit on the player on the sideline.
Yeah, he ran over there on the sideline, Jose Galliano. Poor Mr. Galliano was just sipping some water, but Mac Chima...
That's like professional wrestling stuff going on there on the sideline.
Yeah, Mac Chima, that pass was complete to Irvin, but Mac Chima hasn't seen the ball, had over 200 yards last week and this week in the semifinal, untargeted so far. Irvin, another grab, this time on the Baltimore bench, and notice Charles there, he didn't run over anyone.
Yeah, a little different approach there to sideline demeanor, but Wigmore starting to settle in here in the second half, and hopefully they'll end up with some points here. They keep going to that out route, but haven't seen a lot of stuff down the middle deep.
Well, it goes to show you with Chima not having any catches, Baltimore very targeted in who they are utilizing in terms of weapons. We'll get a little more into that here in a second. Wigmore fires underneath. That one caught a laser there, is good for 8. But Charles, for Florida, every receiver on their roster has over 300 yards and 2 scores, and they've hit every one of them today. Every receiver has a catch. Baltimore has 2 receivers currently sitting without a grab.
That's just a credit to Ron Cochran and also the game planning of Mighty. I mean, every player, if you're on that team as a receiver, you're going to get the ball.
Yes, indeed. Every one of them has over 20 yards today, too. Here is the give right up the gut. Gains about an inch short. Wow, interesting.
Really? That's short, huh? Curious. He was doing a somersault like five yards past the marker.
Well, and in games like this, Charles, you don't want to challenge unless it's absolutely necessary. You could be ill-afforded to lose a timeout, especially in this third quarter. 2 in the backfield, Joker's formation. They'll give Gaines. Gaines stretches it out, and they gave it to him. Tomaello on the tackle, but Gaines got it.
Yeah, just barely by a fingernail, but just shows you, like we said at the start of the half, you got to keep Gaines involved here. I mean, he's an all-pro player, and taking him off the field is exactly what Florida wants.
He has 16 touches today for 69 yards. Really nice play from T-Roy Gaines today. 2 in the backfield, tight end flex. They will give it to him off this weak hand side. Yeah. T-Roy Gaines, 1 to beat, and he will get brought down at the 28, but Gaines bursting through and pushing that average.
Yep, he ran with some determination there. I mean, he was not going to get brought down. Started off with good blocking on the edge. Number 67 just sealed it perfectly for Gaines to take it right through the hole and get a good game.
Well, and I got to say, Charles.
How do you like that?
Yeah, there you go. I got to say, I'm a little surprised. T-Roy Gaines has been a little quiet this year, and then when you see all the window dressing last week of what Baltimore did through the air, Gaines, a little bit of a surprise. Another surprise for Florida there as they pick it off. Evan Carroll runs the route of the defender or the receiver and intercepts Jack Wigmore.
Yeah, that's a mistake you rarely see Jack Wigmore make. I mean, the receiver was blanketed from the beginning. I mean, you had that paired tight end set on the right there, and one of them was wide open with just a dump off.
We're going to step aside. When we return, the Storm have the football. This is the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. Back here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida has taken the ball back. Evan Carroll picks off Jack Wigmore, and now Charlie Boletsky rips off a big run. Oh, dancing, and Boletsky's out to the 37.
Charlie Boletsky, I mean, he's a rookie runner out there, but he runs like he's been in the league for a long time. Just look at that cutback he made. You don't really see that from rookies coming into the league. I mean, that right there is cagey veteran move.
Boletsky trying to help the veteran Ron Cochran get to another championship. Short drop for Cochran, floats across the middle, complete! Oh, I don't know if he was touched. They're going to mark Como down at the 43, but what a sliding catch.
Yeah, right in the weakness of the zone coverage there. He's wide open. And I don't think anybody touched him. Well, maybe they touched his shoelace.
I guess. We're not going to get too nitpicky here with the referees, but if I was Como, I would have stood up and started running.
Definitely.
2 in the backfield, Twins formation here against a 4-3 of Baltimore. They shift off to the strong side, and Ron Cochran from under center will take a short drop. Oh, Beletsky wide open, plenty of room, has first down yardage.
Yeah, that was a great screen play there. Yeah, the coverage was on the other side, and it just caught him off
Guard.
Let's just go with off. And got a good gain there. I mean, Beletsky can get you on the ground. He can get you in the air. All around, great rookie.
Split spread look here for Cochran in the shotgun. Has Doyle off to his right, Beletsky to his left. Cochran, plenty of time, is going to flip it out to Doyle. J.W. Doyle has a couple of yards there in front of the Baltimore bench. They rally. They really need to stop here, Charles. A turnover would be a dream.
Yeah, definitely. And, now's the time you start thinking about maybe sending in a linebacker, maybe changing some of your stunts that aren't working to try and get something going that throws Ron Cochran out of his game, because right now he's conducting a symphony back there.
Has looked really good today. Beletsky offset to the right against a 4-3 on 2nd and
There you
9. And there is the pressure.
Right,
you dialed it up, Charles. Baltimore dials it up as well. They said, hey, that's a pretty good idea. And Tucker Lewis gets home. No, excuse me, it's Saron Yates the 4th.
Number 99 goes in there. I mean, he just took that offensive lineman, picked him up, and carried him into the backfield.
And now Florida faces 3rd and 13, potentially on the edge of field goal range. Here is Cochran, stands in the pocket, delivers across the middle, in and out of the hands of the receiver, Stephen Bush, against Troy LaShaw. Wow.
Yeah, that's what they needed. I mean, Troy LaShaw just hit him with the helmet and knocked that ball out, and that's what they needed, right on the edge of field goal range. Let's see what they do.
From here, I believe it would be a 51, 52-yarder. You would imagine that Ethan Snead can hit that, and they will send him out.
Yeah, well within his range. I mean, he's made a bunch over 50, and his longest is 54.
You want to tempt him any more before he kicks it, Charles?
Sure.
Snead on, low snap, kick up and on the way for Ethan, who is perfect this year, and he got it from 52.
Yeah, he has a diamond foot there when he hits that ball. A lot of power, and then it shows. I mean, he's 100% this season, and again, he's made 6 field goals over 50, so he's dangerous.
That kick is good. The thing that is important to note there, Charles, though, is that kick only makes it a 14-point game, which is still only 2 scores. Baltimore is able to withstand the Evan Carroll interception and keep their hopes alive.
Yeah, 14 points is big, though. I mean, they've got to do something on this drive. I mean, I know we've got almost a little bit left in this quarter and a full 4th quarter, but they gotta put something on the board in this drive.
Agreed. Sector 6 is the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League. Visit sector6apparel.com or our website at simulationfl.net for replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more that help each team stand out from their opponents. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6 and the SFL. Pro look here for Baltimore. They will give it to T-Roy Gaines off the right-hand side. Not going to get anywhere. Florida read that one well.
Yeah, Alfredo Masonet, I believe I'm saying that name right, was, again, another disciplined play by the Florida defense, held their lanes and just shut it down.
Tight end flex here. 4-4 look out of the Florida Storm. You wouldn't want to run against this. You would definitely want to throw. This is potentially a chance for a deep shot. Wigmore underneath will fire underneath, and that is caught. 3rd and 6.
Yeah, I think, Andy, Jack Wigmore was trying to go deep. The coverage shut it down, and the pocket was starting to collapse, so he had to dump it off there. I mean, they got a positive gain, but you got to tip your hat to Florida for the defensive execution on that play.
Yeah, well, and I think smart by Wigmore to take what he could get there and make it 3rd and more manageable. That will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Florida, 11 minutes away from a championship berth. Baltimore trying to get back into it. Get your 4s up in the Twitch chat. and we'll be right back. It's the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. Back here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Andy Hamilton along with Charles Doherty, Shan Varner, and Mark Lopez are running the stats truck for us today. We appreciate them. T-Roy Gaines on 3rd and 6. They hand it off, and he is nowhere close.
Man, they shut that down. Shut that down. Alessandro Tomella was just, it looked like he was already 3 steps in the backfield at the snap.
Tomaello with a big play there on T-Roy Gaines to shut that play down, in Baltimore with 10:45 and ticking here in the 4th is going to have to punt.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I know and as I said before, they needed to get some points on the board, but now they can put the ball back into Florida's hands, and Baltimore defense has got to step up and make a turnover.
Yeah, they have to have it. Here is the kick. Florida will bring it, Como, out to the 37, and that is where Riverboat Ron and this offense will come back out. Charles, another semifinal game after this one, starting at 7:15 Eastern Time. Vancouver and Denver to punch the second ticket. Whichever team wins here tonight will face the winner of that game in the SFL championship game. Should be a good one there as well.
It should be. I've got my favorite based on my history. You know who I'm rooting for.
Big Denver fan is Charles.
No,
in the backfield. Cochran to throw. Fires across the middle. Tipped up. Oh, there was the chance. Oh, Frank Smith could have been a hero in Baltimore, and he might have been in the end zone had he picked it off there.
Yeah, that's the opportunity you need to take. I mean, with down by 14, Frank's got to hold on to that. Go to the sideline and put some Elmers or something on your hands, whatever it takes to hold on to that ball.
14 points is within range here in the 4th with 10 minutes to go, where every play matters. And for Baltimore, you have to try and make a play with your season on the line. 2 in the backfield. Twins look here for Florida. Ron Cochran will give up the middle to Boletsky. He dances a little bit, and Boletsky will pick up 6. 3rd down, a big play for Baltimore here.
Yeah, so I hate to belabor the point here, but as a coach in the SFL, the worst nightmare would be waking up and being down by 14 to Florida in the 4th quarter. So something needs to happen for Baltimore now.
Gun split pro against a 4-3. This is interesting. Here's Ron Cochran in the shotgun to throw. Pressure in his face. Going to fire deep down the field, and it's caught! Ron Cochran threads the needle on the tight end. Veridin Zarkov climbs the ladder and hauls it in.
Yeah, that tight end, Zarkov, he is tough in the middle right there. He is not rattled at all, having two defenders on both sides of him. Grabs the ball, brings it in. Huge gain. Momentum clearly on Florida's side.
Storm also within striking distance to potentially make this a 3-score game. Baltimore's game plan coming in, Charles, has not looked like boom or bust. Flip out top of the screen there, Steven Bush! Oh, a beautiful throw to the back shoulder for Ron Cochran. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, you gotta be kidding me. At the time it took for the ball, when it left Cochran's hands into the receiver, it was like a helium balloon.
Oh,
it just
man.
went up in the air and slowly came down. It was perfect.
Brigham had no chance there. No chance. Riverboat Ron here today trying to move the Florida Storm into the championship again. 79% completion percentage. He'll flip it out there again. Valetsky dances, spins, and has 5.
Yeah, now, I mean, it's we got a short field here. We said it in the first half. I mean, the defense of Baltimore is been known to spoil people's dreams and at this part of the field, and let's see if they can do it on this possession.
4-3 look out of the defense. Very heavy formation for Florida. A wing jokers with one receiver on the field. They give Baletsky off the left side. Baletsky will not get through the first one. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Definitely. And nice penetration by Giovanni Bolt. Not just Giovanni Bolt, but that whole line. I mean, they really took advantage physically of the Florida offense and shut that down.
8 minutes and ticking. A very fast-moving football game here. Neither team interested in slowing it down. Free play here. Baletsky gets walloped. It would not have got the touchdown, but the offsides, Charles, devastating for the Vultures.
Yeah, the sad part about that is it nullifies an impactful tackle by Frank Smith. I mean, that right there was a highlight tackle.
Storm obviously will accept that one after a play that did not get to the line, and Frank Smith puts Florida closer to scoring more points on this drive.
Florida's in the driver's seat right here, and they've got so many options here at 3rd and 2 on the 2-yard line. I would feel comfortable just running it up the middle.
Goal line look here out of the Vultures. Baletsky in the backfield with Doyle. They will give J.W. Doyle, powers forward, and is in for the Florida Storm. They have put Baltimore in the rearview mirror. The question is, can the Vultures catch them? But for now, Doyle is dancing in the end zone.
Yeah, when you give Doyle the ball, he executes. I believe that's the first touchdown he has scored in the postseason. And if so, congratulations, Mr. Doyle.
JW is right up the middle, and the J and the W stand for just win, baby, and JW is trying to get him there. A extra point could make it a 21-point difference, and that, with 7 minutes to go for the Vultures, is going to be tough.
Yeah, you're definitely going to need to be perfect on every possession.
Sneed on to try and kick this one through. Snap down, kick on the way, and up and in. 27-6, Charles. Florida has been on a run.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, they're consistent. From the kickoff, they've been consistent every time they've had the ball on offense.
Ron Cochran, 300 yards, 28 of 35 today. 1 score, 1 interception. Both Baletsky and J.W. Doyle have rushed for a touchdown, and now Baltimore will try and answer. Giovanni Bolt will bring it out to the 24, and that is where Wigmore will come out through a second pick, Charles, to Evan Carroll a couple times out ago.
I think at this point, you could say that maybe T-Roy maybe won't be running much, so it's going to be dangerous if they try anything in the middle. I mean, they're going to have to go out route down the field, because in the middle, it looks like it may be an interception.
3 wide against a nickel look out of Florida, and this is the time that Florida's defense tries to get into you. That pass is caught on the arrow route there for 8. And Charles, that's part of the problem. We haven't seen much too deep from Baltimore today so far. It seems like they've been content with the underneath stuff, but down by 3, you got to try and push.
Yeah, two things. Yeah, you got to push to your point, but you also have to have a sense of urgency. So you may want to think about maybe not the entire drive, but maybe implement some hurry up.
Four look out of Florida. They will give T-Roy Gaines, has the first down yardage to the 36, but that keeps the clock running. And Charles, as much as 21 points is your enemy at this point, the clock also a factor.
It definitely, after a run like that, it's a perfect opportunity to run up to the line and get another play off, even if it's another run, just to keep the defense off balance.
Jack Wigmore threw for 7 touchdowns last week, and he's going to fire across the middle there. That's a complete pass. Lloyd Graham Jr. down to the 45, and Baltimore says, hey, hold on, guys. We're not done just yet.
Yeah, that might have been the best pass of the day for Jack Wigmore.
I think so.
Over the shoulder of the wide receiver.
Yeah, beautiful. Right there into the middle of the field. The safety was pulled deep on a deeper route. Dominguez could not get home. He has 2 sacks today, but Wigmore looked really good last week. Was 2 yards shy of 500 yards, 80% completion percentage, threw 2 picks. They would need a hero's effort here. They give to T-Roy Gaines off the left side. He'll pick up 3. They need a hero's effort to get back into it, Charles, and it all starts with Wigmore.
Yeah, and it starts with Wigmore, but it also starts with hurry up. I mean, I'm starting to sweat a little bit watching this because they're taking too long to execute. You got to get to the line quick and get the play off.
Heavy formation again here with a weak-eyed Jokers. 3-4 look out of Florida. There's room to the top, but I don't know if you want to try that. Here is Wigmore going to float on the backside. Incomplete. Was trying on a sneaky corner route to Jay Hayden, and Ryan Tobin was over there.
Yeah, Ryan Tobin just lit up the wide receiver there. But the best, the positive you can take out of that for Baltimore is the clock stops and you can set up and put the right play in.
Jay Hayden only 30 catches this season. Didn't have any last week, and doesn't have any today. You could just see how they were trying to utilize every piece and inch of the field to move the chains there. 3rd and 7 here from the 42. I think it's four down territory. Wigmore, 5-step drop to throw. Pressure coming late. Fires deep down the field. Laces it. Mac Chima down to the 7. Beautiful throw from Wigmore.
But we talked about this in the first half, Andy. The defense of Florida, the secondary in particular, they like to be physical up on the line. And Mac Chima, he can break through those bumps. And he made him pay for it on that one. I mean, they tried to stop him at the line, maybe throw him off his route, and he just threw him away like water and just went down deep and was wide open.
Split backs in the backfield, just Lloyd Graham Jr. here on the bottom of the line. Wigmore steps back to throw. He has the out route. It's caught there. That's not a touchdown. They're down at the 1.
Wide open. Both corners were wide open. Sorry, I was...
Split backs here. Wigmore to throw again. Stands in the pocket, fires to the out route. That's caught. Had to come back for it. Chima tries to turn the corner and loses 3.
If he would have thrown to that same place the previous play, we probably would have had 7 more points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Davidson played him so tight. Here is Wigmore again. Pressure in his face. Had to get rid of it. 4th and goal. Dominguez supplies the pressure.
Yeah, the legend Dominguez up front there. Big sexy. He's... He may go quiet for a couple plays, but man, he reminds you that he's out there on the field.
Yeah, if you need pressure, 69 is your choice if you are the Florida Storm. 4th and goal from the 4. They need this touchdown. They are on the field to go for it. A bunch formation. You gotta like that. Gaines in the backfield against a 4-2. Wigmore, 5-step drop, fires backside, incomplete. The Florida Storm may have just made the play of the game, and it's deflected by Adam Jones.
He threw, Jack Wigmore threw into double coverage. There was Adam Jones and Ryan Davidson just, having a picnic there on the right corner. And, it did not work out well. I mean, he had a couple other options. Maybe he could have at least tried to run it.
The Storm take over at their own 4-yard line with a 3-possession lead. Give to Beletsky. He will go down, but time will continue to roll. And if you're Florida, you just hand it off.
Right. Right now, it's the Beletsky and Doyle show. Just keep handing it off, run the clock out. I mean, even if you have to wind up having to punt, you're still in the driver's seat up by 21.
Well, and if you are Baltimore, the only thing you can enjoy about that is that neither running back is averaging more than 3 yards a carry. Boletsky, 2.3. Doyle at 3 yards a carry. So in theory, you'll get the ball back at least once. You do have all 3 timeouts, but you got to tackle him. That's the problem. Give to Boletsky with room. Boletsky dances, has the first down.
Yeah, that right there was one nail you hear pounding into the coffin. I mean, that was a big run by Boletsky, took him out of the danger zone, and now they're safe with the time on the wrong side for Baltimore.
Going to tick under the 3-minute mark here in the fourth. And Charles, let's talk a little bit about this Florida Storm team. They started the season at Lone Star. They lost that game. They went 0-1 to start the season. They ripped off 4 more wins to go 4-1. They lost to Sioux Falls 4-2. They have not lost since week 6. They have continued to rip off wins, including undefeated at home. And it looks, barring a Baltimore miracle, that they will continue that trend, and they've looked really good today.
Most definitely. I mean, the way they responded to the loss at the start of the season, winning every game at home and losing only 2 on the road. I mean, that right there, you got to be considered, in the championship for that. I mean, that's incredible.
Baltimore would need some type of turnover here. They do have to snap this before the 2-minute warning, so Baltimore at least will get the ball back once, it would appear, with the timeouts that they have. Ron Cochran back. They will give. That's the backup halfback who is in, and they will pick up a yard, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Florida in control, trying to put Baltimore in the window behind them. This is the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. We'll be right back.
Love you, Cam.
Back here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 2 minutes to go, and the Florida Storm trying to push their way into the championship game. They had the number 2 seed, and they're trying to prove they're one of the best 2 teams in the SFL this year. Flip out backside. Oh, Bolt! Oh, baby. Giovanni Bolt could have flipped this thing on its head with a pick 6 right there.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, Giovanni Bolt does not do – I mean, that right there was Giovanni Bolt normally holds on to that, and it would have been 7 points. I mean, I'm scratching my head.
Man, that was Baltimore's ticket to ride. They would have been right back in the game there with a pick six. They would have been able to kick the onside kick and potentially be right back in this ball game, and Bolt just couldn't hold on. He will get a chance to redeem himself on this punt return, though. He will field it at his own 40 off of the punt and get out to the 45.
You got to give credit to the Florida special teams as well, because they've held Bolt in check on special teams. I don't think he's had a very large gain at all on the punt return nor the kick return.
And a 21-point lead for Florida. They've held Baltimore in this dynamic offense down to just 6 points, a team that scored a ton of them last week. They won 66-40 in the quarterfinal round. They have scored 10 times less than that today with only 11 times, believe it or not. Lloyd Graham Jr. picks up 9, and now the hurry up.
Yeah, I don't know if the all slant is going to be getting them to the promised land. They may need to push a little deeper with only 1:30 on the clock.
Yeah, they will throw it here. That one is caught. Looked like a deep route there by Graham Jr. down to the 25, and Baltimore will use a timeout. And I don't know if you wanted to do that there, Charles.
Yeah, and they need to score. I think they really need to score within the next 2 plays in order to get time on the board for them to catch up from this deficit.
Well, and with using the timeout, you have to get the onside kicks. You no longer can put your defense on the field if you are Baltimore, because without all your timeouts, Florida can just start ripping the clock apart. Two bump here out of Florida against a bunch formation with some backups in for the Storm.
There you go.
Here is the flip outside caught, and Chima will pick up 9.5.
The wide receiver on the bottom of the screen, man, he just smoked the defender on that bump. I think he was wide open.
Yeah, they will call a defensive holding there against the Storm. The Vultures are going to decline that and take the yards on Chima. I think, though, Charles, that does stop the clock.
Yeah, it does.
So
again, the best thing for Baltimore at this point is for Florida to line up in a bump formation, because they've been taking advantage of that all day, and fortunately for Florida, they haven't been showing it too much.
3 receivers wide, single back in the backfield. Trips tight look here out of Baltimore late in this football game. They need a yard, and they will throw and pick up the yard there. Outside is Holder down to the 7, and now hurry up for Baltimore.
Got to get in the end zone this play.
Wigmore under center to throw. Will flip out. T-Roy Gaines.
Go.
Gaines trying to get down to the line. Will not get there. Closed down upon by the Storm.
The clock is not their friend with only 57 seconds left.
Here is Wigmore. Fires underneath. Almost taken by the Storm. That would have been one way to end it, and it probably would have been the career highlight for Christian Paul.
Definitely. I guess the best thing for Florida is it stopped the clock. For Baltimore is it stopped the clock.
Indeed. The Storm have come out, and Baltimore has not scored in this second half. They are trying to do so, at very least, for just their pride. 3 down linemen here on the line of scrimmage against the Vultures. Here is Wigmore, floats, caught in the end zone, and a flag afterwards. Mac Chima finds the end zone again this season. He has been Mr. Postseason for the Vultures.
Yeah, that was a wide open there in the end zone. Got a late hit on the Storm. Still, there needs to be, the stars need to be in alignment here for them to get more points on the board.
Indeed, it is a 15-point deficit right now. I would just kick it. I was going to say maybe go for 2, but you really just need 21 to tie. There's no point in risking that by going for 2, right, Charles?
Definitely, yeah, I agree.
And then they will have to get this onside kick. Shark Tarkington, the 6th-year man, 6'1", 220, on for the extra point, but then we'll have the bigger threat as he boots it up and through. He needs this onside kick in order to get back into it.
Yeah, now's when there's most of the teams in the league now have contract kickers, and this is one of the ways it pays off late in the game. When you do the onside kick, you don't want to have a non-contract kicker doing this.
Tarkington lines it up with 51 seconds left. He will re-angle. It is a high kick, and it is fielded by Florida. The Storm are going to go to the SFL championship game. Max Paul has done it again, Charles.
Yeah, hats off to Max Paul. I mean, he had a great game plan, and the thing about Florida is they are so steady and consistent all game. I mean, you have to keep up with them. It's like a marathon. If you stop to take a rest, they're just going to put 10 points on the board when you're not looking.
Coming up on the SFL post-game update, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green will analyze Baltimore and Florida, and will preview the next semifinal, Vancouver at Denver, which will start at 7:15 Eastern. They'll also hand out some game balls for this game, all coming up on the SFL post-game update. You don't have to go anywhere. It will come right after the conclusion of this game, where the Florida Storm moved to 12-2 and punched their ticket to the season 16 SFL championship. For all these players on Florida, Charles, what a moment. A couple of them going to their first championship. Charlie Boletsky, the rookie, Joseph Wade, Greg McDonaldson, Maverick Hughes. These guys are definitely getting there. Adam Jones, his first championship game potentially. Ethan Sneed, Marcus Agrippa. Huge for them.
Yeah, it's huge for them, but also, I mean, you gotta take your hat off to Mighty, because he does it all. I mean, he's the owner, he's the coach, he does everything, and that's tough to do. That takes a lot of time.
And he will appreciate me saying that he is looking to teach someone. So if you are a young coach in this league, Max Paul and the Florida Storm are potentially looking for new coaches. There would be no one that I would want to learn under better than a guy who's taken his Florida Storm to the championship. Hats off to the Baltimore Vultures as well. What a season from them in their title defense. They fall one game shy of defending that title. They will get a return here on this kick. At very least, they'll have 4 seconds. Maybe Giovanni Bolt can strike with a kick return. But hats off to Baltimore for an incredible season that they had from start to finish. They really put all their effort into this season, did as much as they could. And, there's no shame, Charles, in falling one game shy of the big dance. So hats off to Baltimore. But the Florida Storm head to another SFL championship, this time in season 16. What a game, Charles.
Definitely. What a game. I mean, the thing that stands out to me is the consistency of Florida. I mean, every possession they had, it was like mechanical. They went down the field with ease and did what they needed to do. They imposed their will on Baltimore, and they walked away with a 14-point win. I mean, the way they responded from the first loss in the season and to winning every game at home, you can almost say they deserve to win this one, because they did what they needed to do.
As you see, a beautiful interception there by Evan Carroll. For everyone here, Cameron Irvine, Shan Varner, and Mark Lopez on stats and in the truck. Mike St. Green behind the scenes as well. And for Charles and myself, congratulations to both teams on making it to the semifinals, and congratulations to the Florida Storm for making it to another championship. Charles, I, as a player or coach or owner, don't know what it's like to make it to the championship, but I just imagine that Florida and their locker room has to be going crazy right now.
Oh, definitely. Well, maybe you'll know that in a couple hours, but, I'm rooting for you. And, to your point earlier, you think Mighty will take my call if maybe he can educate me a little bit on?
Well, we heard him at halftime. He is a very straightforward guy, and he knows so much about coaching in this league and what it takes to get to the championships. A 3-time champion, and he has the potential to make it a 4th time as they punch their ticket to the SFL championship. And Charles, your player of the game here is Ron Cochran, the quarterback. Who else could it be? The veteran gunslinger leads them to the championship again. For Charles Doherty, I'm Andy Hamilton. You've been watching the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. Stick around for the post-game update.
Welcome to the SFL post-game update with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. Florida is in the championship for the fourth time, 27-13, and every time they've made the championship game, Mike, they have won it. The winner of this next game will face them, but what a dominant second half by this Storm defense.
Yeah, Cam, congratulations to Max Paul and the Florida Storm on making the championship game for the fourth time. Great performance from these guys. And as you mentioned, man, dominating second half, really from about midway of the second quarter on. This was Florida's game to lose. They just totally dominated Baltimore in this game.
Absolutely. And you know, Florida surgical in the second half offensively. It gave us flashbacks to last week. I mean, they looked just as dominant against Las Vegas. They came out in the second half and they got a little bit more aggressive. They did that again here today. They spread the ball around. E.J. Minson quietly the leading receiver this game. But, I mean, they're just totally surgical. Baltimore had no answer.
Yeah, Cam, totally methodical. I mean, it's like you said, nothing really big stands out. It was just a methodical performance on offense. They just kept moving the change, cashing in. The defense played great. One standout for me was Ryan Tobin had an excellent game, had an interception, 7 tackles on the game. They kept Max Chima in check for a vast majority of this game until a late garbage time touchdown. But just methodical on both sides of the ball. Defensive front dominated. Dominguez had a couple of sacks. Tomaello had a sack. Hammer had about 7-8 tackles in this game. Just total team game, as Max mentioned to us in the first half. That's how these guys do it. I mean, during halftime, that's how these guys do it. And they did it again today, and we'll see them in the championship next Sunday.
So now the only question is left is who Florida will be playing. Will it be a rematch of the Season 12 championship against Denver, the only snow championship game in league history, although that one was in Alaska? Or will it be the Vancouver Legion for the first time making it to the title game to take on the Florida Storm? We'll find out next because Vancouver and Denver are about to kick it off. Mike, what are you looking at in this matchup?
Wow, Cam, both of these teams fought tooth and nail to get here last weekend. Vancouver, they scored 28 of their 31 points in the second quarter of their game against Fort Worth last weekend. They're here. Denver, pulled off a miracle against Arizona, a late kick return and a fumble recovery, vaulted them to victory last week. Today, it's going to be a great matchup, Cam. Can this explosive Vancouver offense, control the ball through the air and the running game with Robert Redford and keep that methodical Denver offense off the field and Jared McChesney and Josh Miller. So great matchup today. Looking to see how this thing pans out.
One of these teams has led the league in scoring each of the last 3 seasons. We expect a little bit more fireworks out of this next game, but you never know. It is the SFL after all. Florida wins the first semi, 27-13. Vancouver and Denver coming up next after the break. Mike Daggs and Matt Wilson on the call from Denver. We'll see you there. This has been the SFL Post Game Update.